Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Michael G. ILKISON with the In the Galaxy podcast with my boy. His name is J to the A to the Y to the E. Jay Williams. What's up, man?
Cheesy Weezy, don't be sleazy. Michael Gilkison back in the galaxy.
Our
Back at it.
podcast game be strong, son.
Big shout out to all our listeners. Thank you. If this is your first time. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't really have anything to say. I was going to maybe throw in some sort of like insightful thing, but it didn't come to me. So
Big kisses.
Have you ever just had one of those weeks where nothing really goes wrong, nothing really bad happens to you, but things happen and you just get kind of turned up? You know, you're just like, fuck. Like you just get pissed off at stuff. I've just been kind of like at 11 on my annoyance for things like all week. So Michael and Jay time, you know what I mean?
We got to have that time in the galaxy to revolve around that.
I had something kind of crazy happen to me, which sent me on like this weird existential, like question my life sort of moment. Like most people, I have this kind of morning routine that I go through to kind of get my day started. Like, do you have a morning routine that you do every day to kind of get shit popping, you know, get shit going?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What does that involve?
Used to involve, I would wake up in the morning, I would eat an apple, then I would go for a jog, then I would go and write in my bagel shop. Now I'm lazy and I haven't been running as much, so I wake up and I cook breakfast.
I walk my dog. It's pretty early, usually around 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:15, and it's dark outside. So, and I live in kind of a really, not like a very highly metropolitan area. So I pass this one yard every morning. There's a rabbit in this yard, okay? So do you see a lot of rabbits out in California, Michael?
You certainly can. You can see mountain lions if you go to LA and other areas. But I don't see rabbits, no, not in my apartment complex.
Maybe mountain lions will come up in a little bit. So I walk my dog. The rabbit runs off to the backyard of this house. And when I come back, I see in my peripheral vision this huge fucking bird, like this silhouette of a bird that just swept across my peripheral vision. I'm pretty much terrified of anything that has wings. Like they just absolutely terrify me.
What about chicken wings?
Yeah, chicken. Well, I eat chicken wings, but live chickens would probably freak me the fuck out. So, and in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, that's a big fucking bird. It's like a hawk. But that wasn't what got me. It was carrying something. It was carrying something, and I'm like, holy shit, is that the rabbit? Is that the fucking rabbit that I just passed in the front yard? And it had run around to the backyard, and I saw it in the backyard when I had passed the first time. When I came back, no fucking rabbit, okay? The motherfucking bird had picked up this rabbit, just swooped it down, just swooped it and snatched it with its razor-sharp talons. And I was like, the whole time I'm walking back to my house, I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, what a crazy life. Okay, what a crazy life that these animals have, like a fucking rabbit that at any moment you can be just scooped up by a fucking demon bird and just taken away and your life is over. Like it doesn't happen anymore. Okay, we don't have to deal with that. And that's where this existential thing started going through. I was like, dude, what if fucking birds were so big they could just scoop us up? And that was something that we had to deal with as human beings, just going about our day, walking our dogs, and we get scooped up by a demon bird. And I thought, I'm not lying to you, I'm not trying to be funny, the first thing that went through my mind was Drake. Of course Drake went through my mind.
How does that happen? How does that thought process lead to Drake?
Well, I'm thinking, what would we be doing different if this was a reality, if we could be scooped up by a demon bird? Like, would Drake make a song called 0 to 100 if his life was threatened by being scooped up by some demon bird from the sky? I mean, 0 to 100. Ooh! What important facets of your life do you have to even write a song about that if that is an actual threat?
Man, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm stumped there.
Obviously, there's benefits to being top of the food chain. We don't have to deal with that, right? I mean, we don't have to deal with that being at the top of the pyramid, at the top of the food pyramid. I mean, yeah, if you go in the water, you get eaten by a shark. The shark's just like, look, bitch, you came into my territory, right? I mean, but he's not actively pursuing us. You lived in Australia for a long time, which is kind of like a haven for dangerous beings. Did you ever see anything crazy, like any deadly spiders or snakes or anything while you were out there?
I saw a huge spider that was in my sink one time. It was just huge. I was like going to like do dishes, and this was in the city, mind you. This was like a pretty big spider. I saw a lot of crocodiles.
Well, you can't just skim over the giant spider in your sink. Okay, so tell me, I need to know what, you don't have to go into super details, like namely who else was there, but mainly like what happened with the spider? Like, how did you deal with that? Because that certainly changes how you live your day-to-day life, right? I mean, that's something that's there. It's an intruder in your home.
People in that country have a higher, I don't know if it's higher or lower, but it's like danger doesn't faze them as much. They see a spider, they're just like, oh, we just got to step on it and kill it. She'll be right. You know, they just move on. They're just like, you know, people go swimming in the ocean where there's crocodiles, and they're just like, oh, well, it's so hot. You know, you've got to take a dip. It's crazy. I'm just like, no, there are crocodiles in here. So crocodiles are worse than sharks. So like you're swimming at the top of the ocean, they think you're a fish, they bite into you, and they're like, ew, gross, and they let people go. That's why like people are missing legs, because they take a chomp, and they're like, oh yeah, it's a human. Crocodiles will go, they will grab you, they will pull you underwater, and they'll go into this death spin.
Right.
And they'll spin you around until you're dizzy and until you drown. And you're just drowning and spinning in this death circle thing. And then after they drown you with reckless abandon, then they just eat you.
Of all the animals, let's be honest, I never had a negative thought in my mind about stingrays until one of them basically shanked Steve Irwin. When I went to Florida earlier this year, my parents would say, oh, come out on the balcony. We're going to watch the stingray swim up on shore. And the whole time I'm like, yeah, the motherfuckers that killed Steve Irwin, you can go down there and they'll just swim right up to you. I'm like, no, that's like saying, let's go into this group of gang members and just start giving hugs to people. Like, you can get fucking stabbed. Okay. That's what's going to happen. Well, it's not going to happen, but I mean,
it could. It's a possibility.
Play with fire, you're probably going to get burned. So
there are no sharks in Darwin because the crocodiles fucking kill the sharks. I went swimming in these little lakes. They're like freshwater lakes. And I remember the people saying, I'm just like, is it safe to swim here? That's a question you always ask when you go to any park in Australia. You're just like, is it okay to swim here? And I'm just like, is it safe to swim here? They're like, oh, yeah, you know. I'm just like, are there crocodiles? And they're like, oh, yeah, but they're just freshies. Wait, what do you mean? So there's crocodiles in here. Yeah, they're just freshies, which means freshies just mean they're freshwater crocodiles.
Right, I think we got that.
But they're like a big, you know, they're big in size, and they just won't bother you. Oh, yeah, you know, they'll just swim up to you. They won't bite you or anything, you know, unless you mess with them.